Good afternoon, Chris Sims, Chief Community Architect with First Integrity Mortgage. And I have a distinct pleasure today of interviewing not only a good friend, but somebody I've admired in our industry for quite some time, Joel Farrell. Joel, it's a pleasure to have you here, buddy.
I definitely appreciate it.
So, Joel, you and I have had lots of discussions on market activity, right? And volatility and where we think the market's heading. In your opinion, where do you think things are today? And how does the ideas of Strive for 25 work to help fuel that and overcome the challenges that could lie ahead?
So I'm scared.
Yeah.
And this is what I mean by that. So I bought my first house, I think at 27, something like that, 27, which, for a long time from the 2000s into the teens, I think the average age of a first-time home buyer was probably in that 26 to 28 range.
Yeah.
And then COVID happens, and then quickly it turned into 36. I think the latest data from NAR was 36 years old was the first-time home buyer average age, which is obviously a big increase, but it makes sense because prices are high, rates are high. The money you need for down payment is obviously higher plus closing costs. So the barrier to entry is higher than it's ever been. The affordability metrics are higher than they've ever been. And when you look at the broad economics of what's happening, you've got people with interest rates in the 2s and 3s from the 20 and 21 time period where rates were so low those are COVID rates,
right?
Because people like us, we've been in the industry for years. 3.25 was the floor that I ever saw. I saw it in 13, I saw it in 16, and maybe one other time, maybe 12. And so going into the 2s has never happened before. So when you got rates that low, those people are never going to sell their houses. Now you have the information of real estate investing, rental properties, holding properties.
Right.
Those people are never going to, even if they move, they're going to hold it as a rental. Barring the exception to the rule. So you have limited supply. Home builders are behind by 6, 7, 8 million homes to be able to hit supply. So you have a supply problem. You have an affordability problem.
Yeah.
So if rates start to drift down, which I think a lot of the projections out there that rates are going to start to drift down this year, next year, whenever. So if rates start going down, I mean, it's hard to see any reason other than catastrophe in the economy of prices going down.
True story.
Prices are probably going to go up, just pure supply and demand. Way more demand for homes than supply. So if that happens, the already existent, record, gap of affordability is going to even be more stretched.
Correct.
So you're going to need to have more money saved to be able to buy a house. And so that's where something about Strive or other programs out there that can help people increase income earlier on,
right,
are going to be more important because the people, if you're not doing those things, putting in the extra work or the extra skills, you're going to be left behind. And you've got record numbers of apartment complexes that are being built.
Yeah.
And that's the whole idea of a renter nation.
Yeah.
That's what all the blueprint of data shows, that we're going to become a renter nation in 5, 10, 20 years. And that scares the crap out of me because then you have no control.
And you have no wealth generation at that point either, right?
Exactly.
When you're paying the guy who owns the property, you're not building wealth. He is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, okay, you fast forward the clock, you got boomers and you got, maybe the generation behind that, and maybe you got some wealth that's passed on to next generations, but then that's people that are already at the top that are passing those things on. So the people that may not be in those buckets, then what?
Well, and you look at the baby boomer generation too. The statistics are saying that they're not necessarily wanting to pass it all on, right? That not only the inflation, the expense that they're having to live with staying alive, the healthcare, the expenses of healthcare today, but collectively on top of it, they don't necessarily want to just pass it on to at least all of it, right? Mm-hmm. You're seeing that they're giving a lot of it away. They're giving it to other programs, and not that that's a bad idea. Just collectively, if you're somebody today that's sitting at 25 expecting that mom and dad are going to write you a fat check in the future, it might not happen. Mm-hmm. And you might as well take control of your destiny today yourself, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're in your 20s and you're living at your parents' home, because I did that until I was 26.
Yeah.
Thankfully, my parents let me do that. And I should have been saving more money than I did, but I did save some money. If you're in that situation, it's an opportunity to save lots of money, hopefully.
Yeah.
Stockpile cash to then go do, maybe you want to invest in crypto, maybe it's stocks, maybe it's real estate, whatever it is, it's an opportunity to invest. So if you've got that opportunity to live frugally for a period of time, it's an opportunity to be able to get ahead.
Completely agree with you. Completely agree. Considering the inventory issues we have, right? We're short 1 million homes a year right now in new construction. Mm-hmm. So And you've got an aging home population, so to speak, that the homes themselves that exist today are not going to necessarily be in a viable framework or structure that people will be able to necessarily just purchase.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think some of the things are that we need to be doing today to change that demographic, change the problem we're dealing with today on the inventory side to make it possible for affordable homes, the opportunity for that lower and middle class families to have an opportunity to get into a home, a first time home or second home?
Yeah, there's one idea that's happened before, and there's another idea that's kind of outside the box of maybe reality or even precedent. Some of the things that have come out recently, I think I'm seeing the administration talk about putting out some incentives for builders to build, and I don't know what the actual details are, but that's talking about giving home buyers money to buy a house.
Right.
That doesn't really do anything.
No.
We're going to have the same supply and demand problem. Prices are only going to go up. You have more demand, prices are going to go up. So that all that money that would be going towards a buyer, yes, it could help that buyer, but if we really want to solve the problem, we need to incentivize builders to build affordable housing and put the inventory out there and make that happen. So that's really kind of one fundamental thing I think needs to happen if we want to solve that problem. And it's a major problem. If you could attack that $8 million home deficit over a period of time, I think you have a lot more confidence in the markets, more stability, more consumer sentiment. All these things would happen. There's another thing too, is that gap is massive, and who knows what the government's going to do. So, when we talk about different streams of income, right? Like every builder out there typically has a very finite box of revenue. They're gonna build a house and they're gonna sell it. If somebody really wanted to jumpstart and what's the word? Hurt the market or kill the market. I'm thinking of jumpstart. What's the word? When you make a difference or make a change in the marketplace.
Yeah, I know where you're going with it.
But if somebody wanted to shake things up a little bit, you go get a builder who has an amazing ability to generate revenue from other sources.
Yep.
And you and I have talked about Alex Ramosi, $100 million offer, the give to the ask mindset, lead magnets, and giving tools and resources and things that attract your clients in, get them something for free of value, bring them into your ecosystem. What if a builder could have enough revenue being generated from other sources that had low cost to bring in to actually, because one of the biggest hurdles for builders to build is it's too expensive.
Yeah.
So what if you bring in more revenue from the outside from a different source that helps you bring your cost of building down, go build houses, and maybe even sell it for a discount, $50,000 for a discount.
Yeah.
You do that 100 at a time. You build your brand. You start to build this self-fulfilling prophecy. Your brand can sell more things or widgets or revenue or whatever it is, and you get more notoriety. Maybe you do presentations, and maybe you're a keynote and people are paying to see you speak, and then you can generate more revenue, build more houses. Again, outside the box, but like it's gonna take something to shake things up if you want to have an impact.
Completely agree. So is in your opinion, is that the idea that you think is that probably won't happen?
Yeah. So if 1 million people buy that book, which I have it on Amazon for $3, as low as you could possibly, because it's not about the money. You don't write a book for money, because you write it for ability to have an impact, have that
awareness,
resume. Hey, I wrote a book. I'm out of pocket. It's a resume. When someone sees your stuff, it's part of your resume. But if someone buys that book and it gets passed on, and we sell 1 million copies, I'll take $1 million and put it towards the development and lower prices if it can have an impact.
Yeah.
So if someone wants to buy 1 million copies, let me know.
Yes.
We'll do some things.
You can sign up for a couple.
Right. 2 at a time.
Yeah, that's right.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, that's great.
So you've been in, when did you start in the industry?
2000, 2001.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the biggest difference that you see of people, in their 20s and 30s versus people that are maybe our age or above?
They won't pick this up. They won't call on it.
Really?
Yeah. Like it's, and COVID made it even worse. Like talking to people and communicating with people became more difficult. So like going to events and just shaking hands and getting to know somebody's story.
Mm-hmm.
We don't seem to do that very well anymore. Picking up the phone to call an agent or to call somebody and work through a scenario as opposed to just relying on an email or a text. That seems to be the biggest mistake, because there's no personal connection. It's not me calling you, talking through the scenario, trying to figure out what's going on, what's happening, right? It's one of those pieces, and in that there becomes dialogue, there becomes conversation. Hey, how's your day going? Anything else I can help you with, right? Kind of mentality. And so what really bothers me is as I see younger people today, whether it's in the sales or operations side or whatever, their biggest fear is picking the phone up and just making the call, just talking to somebody to get the answer really quick and move on, as opposed to, well, I sent an email last Tuesday and they didn't respond. I don't know, and that, or getting outside. Like when I first got in the industry, they handed you a stack of flyers and said, go buy a box of donuts and good luck getting into the real estate office, right? Like, but that's your job. Your job is to get into the real estate. And it became a game. Like, how did you figure out a way to get into the real estate office? Like, did you eat all the donuts or did you actually drop them off? Right. So like, and it could have been both in my case, but that was one of those scenarios that, we don't see that creativity anymore. I was talking to a loan officer, I think this was last fall, and I said, man, he had a office in downtown that he wanted to go in and out of, and there was a gatekeeper there. And I said, just stop in every day and say, I just want to see a beautiful face today. Hope you're having a good day. Turn around and walk back out, right? And come in the next day. Just wanted to see a smile, right? And just create a little bit of time. Finally, she's going to, why do you keep walking in here? I'm hoping to get to talk to your boss, right? Someday. And maybe you'll let me back there and let me talk to her. They're going to eventually go, hold on, let me go get them. I know they're not doing anything right now. Give me a second. We'll just go see. And it works. Like, it's just those little things, of those little moments of just touching and thinking about people and I think about our relationship too. Just reaching out and touching base with you every now and then, right? And just, hey man, how you doing? How things going? And knowing that I'm still thinking about you, right? And I think those are the things that we need to do more of, and keep that relationship and feeling like we're connecting with each other, right? And,
I think especially in your own industry, right? Having those relationships and opportunities, because I mean, it's not about competition. Because like if you said, hey, I have 100 loans for you to do because I can't do them all. I'm your competitor, but I have 100 loans for you. I can't do 100 extra loans. I don't have the infrastructure to do it. It's not about competition. Is not about competition. I'm not good enough. My systems aren't good enough to handle that yet, right? So we can have fun. We can exchange ideas, maybe share tips, right? Because we're not really competitors, right?
No, and again, your way of doing something is still going to be different because it's you. It's not me, right? So I could tell you that this is exactly how I would do this, but you got to find your own way of connecting with it, right? And making it yours. And so it's amazing to me in our industry today that we just don't see that. Everybody expects the lead to just come walking in the door, and they're supposed to have everything completely ready for you. You're going to say yes to it, and then you're going to go back to your desk and chill out, and it's just going to miraculously get done, right? And so, I just keep thinking about that in our environment today as I think about where I see people who are trying to step into this industry, because it's not easy. We've lost over 50%. Right? What were the numbers I think Barry was throwing out the last couple of weeks, that 75% of the industry did 2 loans last year, I think, or 3 loans, something ridiculous like that. And if you did
2 a month or 2 total?
No. Yeah. Like it was 150,000 loan officers, I think he said, that did 1 loan last year, that did at least 1 loan, which was down by 50% from previous. Okay. Then if you looked at, in order to get in the top 10%, if you did more than 5 units a month, you were in the top 8 or 9% of the industry, right?
Yeah.
And when I think about our days of being at Pulaski and even the success you've had even recently, right? 5 loans a month was like, oh man, I'm not cutting it. I got to step it up, right? And Now you look at a loan officer that's struggling to get one deal a month.
Yeah.
And again, our environment's changed. When I've been out with loan officers at different events and things like that, it's not the same. They're not as quick to want to get to know you and shake hands, and they're a little more reserved. They're standoffish. You got to break down barriers a little bit differently than we used to, right? So
as you were talking about that before, I look back at my own journey, like going from inside sales to outside sales. Like, okay, I got to figure this out.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to call. Am I got to call these people I don't know? Okay, so
Yeah.
cold calling. Like that's literally how I was able to survive and throw myself into the fire. So 12 and 13, and great years and all the stuff. But like I literally was cold calling.
Yeah.
Like that was how I was getting my business. I had a good product at the time and this and that. And it's like I look back on those types of experiences. Like if I can do that, I can do anything.
Oh yeah.
And like when you go through those hard times, if you can do that, then you can do anything. And that's really been important for me from a psychological standpoint. When you have those bad days or you start to doubt yourself, it's like, well, if I can do that, I can do anything.
Yeah. Completely agree with you.
So,
well, Joel, it's been an absolute pleasure sitting here with you today and having the chance to converse and go back and forth. If you don't have it, check it out. Like you said, it's on Amazon for $3. It's not like you're going to go broke buying the book and you just might become a millionaire. Check it out. See what happens.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it.